guys, let's talk about the color dodge blending mode. So this isn't the lighten group, meaning it's just going to make your image lighter. Now this is going to be even lighter than the screen blending mode. You're going to have blown out highlights when you use these and super saturated midtones. So in my opinion, the best use for this is when you want to add interesting colors to the highlights of your image. Now keep in mind, this is actually in our special 8 group of blending modes, which means it's going to look different whether you use opacity and fill. So let's go ahead and jump in. We'll show you a great example of how to use this to add some interesting color to the highlights of a photo. So we're in our sample images here, chapter 3, and we're going to go to color dodge. You can see we have a little asterisk telling us that this is in the special 8 group. So color dodge blending mode, let's go ahead and open that up. I'm going to hit F4 full screen. Now, we're going to start off by grabbing a solid color fill layer, and I'm going to go with like a bluish teal. We can change this color at any time. There we go. Now again, I like to use this blending mode for adding interesting colors to the highlights of my photos. Change our blending mode from normal down to color dodge, and you're going to notice exactly what we said, right? Blown out highlights, so you can see these highlights are getting really, really bright, and we have very saturated colors in our midtones. So as it is right now, not incredibly useful, but when we start lowering our opacity and fill, it gets a lot more useful. So let's go ahead and lower our opacity to about 20%. I'm going to make a new layer and then apply image that so we can see the differences between opacity and fill. So this is with opacity at 20%. Okay, and then let's go ahead and just make this layer opacity 100 and then fill of 20% and then see how they look different. So as you're looking at the image right now, this is with a fill of 20%, and here we have an opacity of 20%. So with the opacity, we're seeing we have a lot more colors in the shadows, a lot more saturation in the shadows, which I find is less useful. So when I'm using this layer, I prefer to use a lower fill rather than a lower opacity. So here with the fill, as I bring this up right to about there, we get some really interesting colors in the highlights. It's going to bring those highlights even brighter, and it's going to add saturation to them. So anytime you want to add color to the highlights, color dodge is a great way to go. So you may have noticed this is actually the opposite of color burn, which darkens your image and puts saturated dark colors in your shadows. So if you want to darken your image and put saturated colors in your shadows, color burn. If you want to lighten your image and put saturated colors in your midtones and highlights, then you want to use color dodge. Join us in our next video where we're going to go over linear dodge, which adds color to the highlights and midtones, but it's less saturated than our color dodge. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video.